Very good morning, everyone. It's George Bayruthi here from FS Securities, giving the market report for Monday morning, the 20th of March 2023. Let's go and see what happened on Saturday morning. We woke up to find out that the Dow Jones, that is the index in America for the top 30 stocks, was down 1.2% or 385 points. The S&P 500 was down 1.1% or nearly 44 points. The Nasdaq Technology Index was down 0.7% or 87 points. Tesla and Apple, both in New York, were down. Tesla was down 2.2%, down to $180 US, and Apple was down 0.55 or 85 cents to $155 US. BHP was up in New York, slightly up to $57.60 US. Rio Tinto, on the other hand, steady down 6 cents to $64.67 US. In Europe, the StoXX 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was down 1.3%. That's on the back of the FTSE in London, down 1.01%. The CAC in France, down 1.4%. And the DAX in Germany, down 1.3%. The futures are indicating most likely the market will open down this morning by 60 points or 0.9%. And the S&P 500 on Friday was up 29 points or 0.4%. Gold, 1986. However, we understand that is actually based on 9 o'clock this morning. However, overnight, gold was up $68. I don't think it has ever been so close to the 2000 mark, as far as I can recall. Silver was trading at $22.77. I also believe this is nearly up 10% from last week. Brent oil and the West Texas crude oil, 3% up and 0.2% up respectively. $72.47 US per barrel for Brent, and West Texas crude oil, $66.8 US per barrel. Iron ore price, $130 US per ton, and the 10-year yield in America down 1.2% to 3.44%. And we're slightly below that in Australia, 3.36. Bitcoin had a big jump overnight, over the weekend. Remember, on early last week was actually trading around $20, 20,000 US, 20,000 US. It's now 28,300. You can more or less say that's nearly 40% up. And that converts in Australian dollars to 42,100. Again, up from 30,000. Again, that's close enough to 40% up as well in the last week. Remember, the highest level in Australian dollars was 88,900, and the highest level in the US was 66,800, dropping to 15,600. And you can see more or less it had doubled from that low level, which probably about 7-8 months ago. All right, let's have a look at the big picture and see what happened over the last 4 days. The Dow was nearly down 1,000 points or nearly 3% over the last 4 days. Over the month, you can call that 6% down. The S&P 500, taking the top 500 stocks, down nearly 4%, and the Nasdaq Technology Index down 1.3%. However, over the year, 12 months, the Nasdaq is down 16%, the S&P 500 down 12%, and the Dow down 8%. Our market over the last month, we're down 5%. You can see that it's almost happened the previous 4 weeks, when you can see the last change, 4 days change, is nearly 5%, and that's exactly what we see over the month. So the last week is the major contributor for the losses over the month. However, over the year, we're down 4.1%, not as bad as the American market. Also, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was also up over the year by 4%. And the DAX, mainly the contributor of that, the Stoxx 50 index, giving 2.5% out of the 4.2%. Alright, if you want to see even bigger picture than that, over the weeks, what we've seen over the last 4 days and over the month. Now, if you want to see, that's almost the same what's happening over the weeks. You can see here the 1,000 points that I mentioned before. Gold, the last 3 weeks, is up $173, or nearly 10%, and silver up 7.3% over the last 3 weeks. When you look at the month, it's interesting that gold over the month is down 9% and silver down 7%. Copper, the economic global barometer that actually measures the activities, the industrial activities, is up 1.5% over the month. However, over the year is down 13.6%. And crude oil over the year down 27%, and West Texas crude oil down 31%. Now let's go and have a look at our portfolio. Okay, this is on Friday. The market was up 0.4%. I think across the 4 portfolios that we have, we outperformed the market on Friday. You can see here the best performance was actually the momentum portfolio, was up 1.7%, followed by the aggressive portfolio, up 1.3%. However, remember, we closed all our positions before the end of June 2022, and we were sitting on nearly $250,000 across these 4 portfolios, and we started to trade on the 7th of July. Well, since the 7th of July, the ASX 200, that is actually our market gauge, was up 5.2%, up 5.2% since the 7th of July when we started to trade. However, the conservative portfolio for the same period since the 7th of July outperformed the market. We were up 16.4%. Only 3 weeks ago, we were actually up 22%. So we actually have seen some losses over the week. So even though we had some rises, the previous week was actually very bad. Now, when you consider where we are at the moment, we're down 1.8% on the aggressive portfolio. Last week, the same time, we were up nearly 4%. So we've seen major losses last week, and also we've seen some losses in the conservative portfolio, and we've seen some losses in the volume portfolio, from 2.9 to 0.6% down. So week on week, the ASX 200 over the full week was down 2.3%. We were down on the 4 portfolios. We've done much worse than the market as a whole. You can see that all the losses actually are more exceeds the losses on the ASX 200. So I can say to you with a great deal of humility, we haven't done very well last week. You look at the last 2 weeks combined, again losses across, and over 4 weeks we've lost 10.7% on the volume portfolio and 7.7% on the aggressive portfolio, and more than 6% on the conservative and the momentum. I'm going to tell you what we are trading and where the losses have been generated. A copy of this whole presentation can be acquired by, at the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you my details. You can call me by phone or you can send me an email. All right, let's see what we've got in the stocks, in the portfolios. As I mentioned, we had $250,000 to start with, and so far we spent nearly 69%. We spent 69% on the aggressive portfolio. We only spent 49% on the conservative portfolio, and 41 and 52% on the volume and the momentum portfolio respectively. These losses, you've seen them before, but let's go and see what we are actually trading inside those portfolios. Now, the 16% profit we're making on the conservative portfolio, which is the best result across the 4 portfolios, generated mainly by mineral resources, 39% profit, Whitehaven Coal, 32%, and BHP up 23%. But we lost money on James Hardie, that's already closed, and Commonwealth Bank is down 6.6%. Now the second, you see all the other 3 portfolios are in losses. Just to show you where the losses are made, Core Lithium, Lake Resources, both of them, and Allkem, and they are all lithium-based portfolios. So because of lithium have actually generated major losses, we are really suffering across those 3 trades. ASX, it's closed. We made already 4% losses. And Temple Webster, our major contributor of the losses, down 17%. On Friday, it closed 5% down. And finally, WiseTech in the momentum portfolio, giving us 31% profit, but we're losing money on Lake Resources, Core Lithium again, and Zip. This is actually buy now and pay later. Santos, the oil company, down 2.3%, and Pilbara Mineral down nearly 6%. Well, we haven't done very well the last couple of weeks, but again, the important part is we look at the fair value, and if the fair value remains higher than the last price, we continue to maintain that particular portfolio, that particular stock in that portfolio. All right, let's go further here. Let's see the advance and decline. On Friday, 35% of all the stocks went up, and look at the volume, 3.7 billion, the highest level for nearly 15 days. So it looks like the market went in and the buyers were buying and buying and buying. 35% were up, 27% were down. However, the day before, 48% went down and 18% went up, and the volume was also pretty high. So I think you can consider that to be volatility. The market is up one day, down the following day, up again the third day. So again, this is actually tell us that the market is volatile and you have to be very careful about what you trade. Are you in for the short term or are you in the long term? So it's very, very important to actually know that. Now, in terms of stocks that happen to be active, the weekly stocks, AGL Energy, the price was up only 0.3%, not a great deal, but the highest level is Capricorn Metal, up 17%. What about this one here? Neuron Pharmaceutical Limited, 72% higher. Ramelius Resources, up again 20%, 21%. When we look at those companies with high return over the day, so that's the week, Capricorn Metals, I mentioned up 17%, but the fair value, trading at $4.45, the fair value is $4.61. So not a great deal of difference, only 4% higher. And they reckon that the target is $4.58, not a great deal above the last price. Going down here, Neuron Pharmaceutical Company, NEU, 72% up, trading at $13.23, and the fair value is actually $5.57. The fair value is 42% of the price, so we're not going to actually consider that at all. So there must be a reason why. We need also to reconsider the fair value. Maybe that fair value was too low before the last price increase due to some announcement. We may need to actually have a good look at it. Why don't we do that now and show you exactly what we actually do in terms of assessing the market. So it's actually, we're looking at NEU. Again, the trading at $12.14. Based on 12 models, the fair value is $8.36. And they expect the target price is $15. Looking at another system, valuation, $34.12. Wow, there must be a reason for that. What is the company doing? It's a biopharmaceutical company, drugs for the treatment of neurological disorders. Okay, that's an interesting announcement. Let's have a look at the third platform. Trading at $11.81. You can see here. This morning is down 11%. So up, yes, on Friday 27%, this morning down 11%. And the fair value is on this platform $14.157. Any announcement? Yeah, Petra Capital raised the price to $14.58, raised the price by 68%. Raise to buy from hold. Obviously they've got some announcement that excited the market, so we'll worry about that later. Alright, let's have a look at the daily active. Liontown Resources was up 8.2%, trading at $1.65. The fair value average is $2.70, and the target is $1.94. We've got 18% more above that price. Australian Strategic Material was up 8%, trading at $1.35, and the fair value is $3.10, nearly double the price. So we're going to also have a look at Australian Strategic Material. Looking at the decline, Inconex down 12%, was trading at 11 cents, and I reckon the fair value is 47 cents. Yeah, that's a major difference. Aurelia Metals down 8.7%. Again, the fair value is 86 cents versus 10 cents. Again, we look at this company as well. Alright, finally, to close this presentation, if you want to be in touch with me to get a copy of this full presentation, the full document, you need to call me on my mobile 0411 259526. If you're ringing from overseas, 6161 is Australia, the country code 61. You don't need the 0. 61411259526. Or you can write to me to George at FS stands for full service, George at FS Securities, plural, fssecurities.com.au. Okay, trade wisely and safely, and have a good day.